Today's forum basically featured two speakers. The first one, Mr. Xing Higang, the Chinese way, or Zhigang Xing, the American way. He's the Deputy National News Editor for China Daily. That's the only national English language newspaper in China, and has been there for more than 20 years, and actually probably going on to 30 by 1011. That would be 30 years. So basically that paper was started when China started to open up. They realized we got to start. It looks like we got to start a paper for the foreigners in China. So that's where it started. He arrived here late January.
In January.
I will be here for the whole semester, and he's having fun with classes as well. Second speaker, Mr. Cha Galazovic, and he's currently the editor of the online magazine Grand Central. He interned with the China Daily in Beijing last year, and when I was here bargaining for a union contract, he's having fun in Beijing when the Olympics was on. So I was very jealous of that. So he had a lot of fun, and he's going to share his experience with you in a minute. So let's have Mr. Xing first.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, I should thank you for coming. And I'm very glad to have the opportunity to attend the forum and give a presentation. So, the U.S. media and experts on international studies have long been discussing China's rise and how the United States should get along with China. Although China has assured its rise will be peaceful and pose no threat to other nations, but it has failed to ease worries among some U.S. people, and they claim the United States and China are naturally competitors or what. So today, I just would like to focus on the relations between the United States and China, and we will see what kind of relationship is in best interest of both nations. And the title of my presentation is China and America to Rise or Fall Together in a Symbol. It's a quote from Hillary Clinton, the U.S. Secretary of State, during her visit to China. And I think it sends a clear signal that the United States and China should cooperate with each other to meet global obligations. Here are some points I want to make today. And the first one is economic interdependence between the United States and China, and it's a strong basis for bilateral cooperation in other sectors. And the second one is the challenges posed by economic crisis to both nations. And third one is we will look at some common interests and main differences between the two countries. And last, we will see how to develop China-U.S. ties in the future. Okay, before we look at the general ties between the United States and China, I think it's better to start with Michigan, where they are living now. And from the chart you can see from the year 2000 to 2007, Michigan exports to China grew by 521% compared with 28% to the rest of the world. And China is now the third largest export market for Michigan. And all the big three in Michigan are closely related to China. Although they are suffering in the United States now, but they all make profits in China. You know, GM alone exported $4.2 billion of auto cars and auto parts to China over the past 11 years. And its joint ventures in China sold about 1 million cars in China last year. And Ford, recently its CEO said Ford will place its future in the Chinese market. And Chrysler, the company entered the Chinese market only 3 years ago, and instead it's catching up with the other two firms. Okay, this is an article published in Detroit Free Press last month, and the headline is "A Chinese Connection Could Boost Michigan," and the author, Tom Watkins, said Michigan should be open to Chinese investment and business. And he said, let's invite Chinese President Hu Jintao and Premier Wen Jiabao to take the land of the state and take billions of dollars of products back to China. Okay, this is Susan Shi, the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, and she said last year, factory closures and job losses in Michigan and in Guangdong province vividly remind us how interdependent our countries are now. And although this could lead to conflict and friction, it also gives the U.S. a strong incentive to cooperate with China. Okay, now we will see economic interdependence between China and the United States. Here you see China is the largest creditor to the U.S., holding more than $739 billion of treasuries. And if corporate bonds are included, the figure will be more than $1 trillion US. And China is also the second largest trade partner and the third largest export market to the United States. And also we should also remember the first two largest export markets of the United States are Mexico and Canada. And they are all neighboring countries of the United States, and they have free trade agreement with the country. And for the United States, it is China's second largest trade partner and the largest export market. It is also one of the largest investors in China. And U.S. investment in China reached $59 billion last year, and with more than 56,000 firms. Harvard economist Neil Ferguson has coined a new term, Chimerica, to describe the close relations between the United States and China. And he says, if you think of it as an economy called Chimerica, it accounts for 13% of the world's land surface, a quarter of the world's population, a third of the world's GDP, and more than half of global economic growth over the past 6 years. And the World Bank says, between 2003 and 2005, the United States contributed to nearly 30% of global economic growth on average, followed by China at 13.8%. And in 2008, last year, China alone